Good morning, welcome back to my daily Transcontinental Race coverage. We're on day 12 now, reaching the end, but let's go and look at the tracker and see what's been going on. And we've had our first women finish the event. So the first woman across the line and has been the first woman on the road throughout is of course Sherry. She's riding as a pair with her partner Jerome. And so they did a fantastic ride, 10 days, 21 hours, 42 minutes, inside the top 20 overall, which is pretty remarkable actually for a pair. Normally there's so much that can go wrong with two riders, and keeping yourself in sync, when you're hungry, when you're tired, energy levels is really tricky. So it just shows that they've done like a really, really good job of working together. 16th place in the general classification. What a great ride that was from those guys. But first, solo woman on the road is Jamie Wilson. Now she's finished very recently, and we had a bit of drama in the women's race. So if you remember yesterday, it was looking like a bit of a drag to the race, a drag race to the line with her and Maria Holcroft. Unfortunately, Maria has crashed. Crashed yesterday, so that meant Jamie was able to basically ride to the line, without that head-to-head race, which is pretty disappointing. So you can see here, Jamie came in 24th overall, so cracking race from her. Maria, unfortunately, there's a statement on the Transcontinental Race website. Maria crashed in a deep rut on the road, so it sounds like there wasn't any cars or anything like that involved. I suspect just tiredness at this stage of the race and a particularly bad road surface. So currently in hospital, is treated and comfortable being discharged today, having not scratched yet. She plans to make it to the finish line when she's ready. Really unfortunate to see that that race sort of play out that way, because it was going to be a really fantastic finish. And you can see I did wonder what had gone on with her tracker yesterday, but I didn't see that, or that announcement wasn't released until after I'd recorded my video. So Maria in Caterini at the moment. Hopefully she'll be okay. I've seen a few things, nothing official, but apparently she had stitches in her knee and a bit of a hit to the head. So hopefully she'll be okay. I mean, I've hit my head recently in a race and ended up scratching. I wasn't this close to the finish, mind you, but hopefully it's not hit her too hard and she'll be okay to get around. She's got a few days to be able to do it, so I guess that the target for her will be to get to the finishers party. Real shame, as she was looking very good to win it. So that is the women's race, and we're going to have our second place finisher, Susanna, very soon. She is just the little brown dot in here. She's basically in Thessaloniki. So again, another fantastic ride from her, and not too far behind Jamie. So really close racing again, and that kind of leaves Joanna, number 99, in third position. She's probably just under a day or so away from that finish now. Maybe not quite that, but she should finish tonight, hopefully, and then we will have our women's podium complete. So another great race to watch. Before I go any further, I'll just say thank you again, as always, to Holy Fat for supporting me and believing in me on these race updates. So they've supported this and my Tour de Vie coverage. Very grateful of them. So check those guys out if you're in some carb-free energy products, perfect for these long races. It's going to be a short one this morning, I'm afraid, as I have to go to a wedding. So the women's field is starting to finish. The only other big story is the removal from the classification of Anatol and Sebastian Starks. Obviously, they're starting to say what they think about the matter. Obviously, very disappointed on their part. And I guess they feel it's a little bit unfair, and obviously the internet is involved too. So there's a lot of comments, and there's been a few on some of my videos about what's gone on, and obviously some people think it's unfair, others don't. My take on it, I think probably if they were riding together through the Alps, closely together for a couple of days, and that probably does go against some of the rules which The 10 rules on the Transcontinental Race, which you can see on the Transcontinental Race website. All very simple. So obviously no drafting other than with a pairs partner. I don't think they were drafting, to be honest. I really doubt it. I think basically it's two friends who found themselves together through the Alps and have ridden shoulder to shoulder, probably chatted for a day or so. But I think basically the riders or the organisers have highlighted that it contravenes riding the spirit of self-reliance and equal opportunity. Obviously you're not fully reliant on yourself if you're using someone else for a moral boost through, in this case, particularly bad weather through the Alps. Sebastian does say they were told at the checkpoint. So obviously it's been raised. I think the biggest issue for me is just being disqualified, or not disqualified, removed from the classification right on the finish line. It sucks a bit. I mean, you put all this effort in to get across Europe in under 10 days, and you're high on emotions when you finish, and then to be told that it's probably not ideal, and I can see why they're really upset. Maybe it could have been handled slightly better in terms of delivery from the organisers, but you have to bear in mind too that there's 300 riders to deal with, and it's hard work for the organisers too. You know, travelling non-stop across. I mean, if you just drove across Europe without looking after a race, you'd be absolutely exhausted. I remember, in the early days, Mike would just be absolutely wiped out at the end of the race, probably more so than the riders. So obviously not, just saying that maybe decisions are harder to make in that circumstance. Personally, I mean, it's very easy to sit on the outside, as most of the internet seems to be doing and commenting. I would have thought maybe some kind of pre-warning at one of the earlier checkpoints saying, look, we've got this question mark over over like some time in the Alps. Maybe we're gonna have to review it once the race is finished, so you won't have an official position upon finish line pending review. Something like that would probably have been a better way to do it, but I mean, there's no easy way to do it. It kind of is what it is, and I'm sure there's other people further down the pack that have ridden together for extended periods of time. I think it's because this was at the point end of the race that it got highlighted. So yeah, I mean, it's a shame that that's kind of happened, but I guess that it is what it is, really. But it doesn't take away from their achievement. I mean, they've still both ridden all the way across Europe in a really fast time, and to be honest, their times probably would have won it, not that many years ago. So that's that. Check out obviously the Transcontinental Instagram for all the kind of latest images. Hopefully we'll see some images of Jamie Wilson crossing the line. Nothing up just yet. That's all I've got for today. Like I said, a bit tight on time this morning. I'll be back tomorrow, my last update before I go to Kyrgyzstan for the Silk Road Mountain Race. So what I'll do is I'll try and do a roundup of everything. Hopefully we'll see all our women's podium finished and images of everyone. I'll see you again tomorrow.